A bit of a cliche, but how is morale in camp after Friday night's magnificent result?
Great. You can imagine. I don't have to really touch on it too much. You can imagine after the result. You can imagine after the draw. It's a good place, but it's time to realise that we've got to concentrate on league fixtures now. I don't really want to speak about semi-finals. We've done our bit. We're going to have plenty of media attention in the run-up to the semi-final that week, so I think it's time to really concentrate on where our focus is now, and that's Queen's Park.
Do you think mentally though it could give you a boost to the league, for these last...
I'm hoping so, of course. I can see an extra edge to training now. Not that I didn't have an edge before, but it naturally brings it. I've seen it before. It's very competitive. Boys want to be in the team. Boys realise what's at stake, and I've got plenty of bodies available now, so it's a great tempo, and it's a good place to be.
Yeah, on that, obviously, seeing the likes of Roddy McGregor return on Friday, how much of a boost will that be, having a full squad going in?
I think you see how important Roddy is when just his energy. I knew bringing him on, he would probably do the work of two men just to try and see it out. So that's what I brought him on for. The last 10-15 minutes. It's like all the other injuries. You don't want to push them too quickly. But I knew he had 10-15 minutes in him, Roddy, and I thought he was great when he come on with all his energy again and got us up the pitch, tracked back and gave me everything I wanted out of sub appearance to see out a game.
Just in terms of now, obviously these kind of last few games, how much, I suppose, enthusiasm is there from the players to try and go out with one last kind of push, after the kind of, I suppose, up and down season that it has been with injuries and with that? I
can see it. I can see the focus. It doesn't mean to say we'll do it, but I can see their steely determination. I can see it when it comes to training, and I can see that they want to now knuckle down to league business, and we're going to give it a go. That's all I can say. I can't guarantee anybody anything, but I can guarantee we'll be trying our damnedest to get 3 points this Saturday and then see where it takes us and then build from there.
Just on that, obviously it doesn't get much more difficult than Queen's Park. What are you expecting from them?
The usual, right good team, up at the top in merit. Cause you loads of problems with their front four and even their other midfielders, but the middle to front really good, but we feel as if we can get to them as well, because we've got players who can hurt teams, as we showed against Kilmarnock, so we have to make sure we work their back line, and that's what we'll be trying to do. But they're there in merit, they're a really good team. They're going to be hard to stop this season. And it's been close run games. Every game I was thinking about it, where they beat us in the cup, which was a couple of mistakes for us, but 2 late goals. They beat us down there, turned it around after up 1-0 half time, and then with 2 draws as well. So it's been close encounters, and we're hoping to come out on top. Cheers, Liam.
No worries.
Yeah, Billy, just a couple of quick ones about the game. You wouldn't need to poke and prod the players, not that you would ever hope to, about reducing performances between now and not just the end of the run-up to the Cup semi, but the end of the season, because there's so much to play for, and you've got that crucial bit of momentum there.
Yeah, that's it, Chris. I must admit, sometimes you have to, but I don't think so on this occasion. Just with the group we've got, and we realise where we are and what we have to do. It's never time. We've got to make sure we put some results on the board. We've done that in the last 2 fixtures, 4 points out of 6 against Dundee and Ayr, and we hope to add to it. We just want to keep... No, I want the boys to do it, and I can see it in them. I just want them to keep chipping away, because if we do that and get results at the right time and can maybe reel in 1 or 2, I think we're hoping to make a couple of teams panic.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. I mean, nobody has all season. Give or take a few runs for Queen's Park, a wee spell for Dundee, good patch for Morton. Nobody's really dominated throughout the season, and there's still plenty of games and plenty of points for you to put a run together to get into those playoff spots.
There is, but hard fixtures. I mean, just look at our next 3 when we get Queen's Park, Partick, then Morton. So we've got to make sure we do something special in those 3 fixtures, because that'll bode us well going forward in terms of what we've got to do in the last 6. we've got to give ourselves a chance. I think within the next month we'll know if we're pretty much going to know if we're going to be in the playoffs or not. Not in them, a chance of making them.
Yeah, I know you've talked, and we've probably talked justifiably more than you have, because you've not been able to do anything about it, but you've played half the season with one hand tied behind you as available. How much of a shot in the arm is it to get everyone out in the training pitch, and as David said, getting players on the bus, filling up those seats?
Speaks for itself, doesn't it? I've said that to you, where look at Friday night against Kilmarnock. When I get the right amount of players and the right ones and the right squad, and it's healthy competition, everybody's involved, you see what can happen. So I've got it now, I've no excuses now. I've not been making excuses, I've been telling it the way it is all season, and now I had to, if I'm saying that before, I've had to make sure that I get results, and I think you see that's the case since the turn of the year.
Massive one. Best of luck at Stenhouse Muir this weekend.
Cheers, Chris.
You feel, Billy, there's a wee point to prove against Queen's Park, given that you have had these close games, but maybe not come out with the wins you want?
I would like to try and get the better of them, but I don't think a point to prove, Alistair. I just think it's any win we get is crucial at this time of the season, and we want to build momentum. I've shown in the past, since I did come here as a number 2 under Neil, I felt we've shown since then that we're a team that can put a run together, that can take you places, and we went for relegation trouble that season to just missing out and nearly get in the playoffs. That's the type of run we're going to have to put together again if we're going to make playoffs. That's where we are. So no point to prove. Yeah, I would like to win the game, but then I'll just be thinking the exact same way come Partick Thistle on the Friday night. It'll be just the same. I just want to get my mindset and my players to get the mindset that we have to start something. We've already started it a wee bit. I want us to carry it on now.
Yeah. I mean, the signs are good in terms of the performances now. Is there that wee bit extra belief that maybe can come from the cup victory?
I think belief for the cup victory, or belief when the players see all the other boys coming back to make it a healthy competition. I've said all along, I've said those words to you for months. It's not just been like a month, it's a 2. It's been like since probably September, which is horrendous. And now it's proven. Now it's proven that when I do get them all together, how good a team we can be. As I said to you, it's a fluke if you only beat one Premier League team, but when you do, that's 3 Premier League teams we've beaten. Well, 2 Premier League teams, Livingston twice and Kilmarnock, we've beaten this season. And then when you go back to last year, St Johnstone, we've run them close in the playoffs, getting a draw here. So that's when you've got the bulkier squad and the bulkier players, you tend to get better results.
Yeah, and just in terms of how it's been around the club, since the cup win, because obviously you had the financial, bad news, and just for ordinary members of staff, it must be just a great lift to feel like the club's kind of on the rise again.
I'm not going to hide it out. It's been a huge boost, I think, to everybody. When you see everybody from the front desk, people who work behind the scenes here, I think it's been a real lift for everybody, a real boost for everybody, and including the players and myself, but especially for the people working behind the scenes. So not got to kid you on. I could say, I'm going to dampen it all, we've got to focus, we've got to calm down and make sure we concentrate on league business. Yeah, we want to do that, but there's been a real lift about the club, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, thanks.
Billy, you mentioned you said that Queen's Park
Sorry, Will.
Total League of Merit. Are they the best team you've played this season in the Championship, in your opinion?
I think there's a few teams where attacking wise are a real threat. Dundee and themselves, and that's no disrespect to any other teams. I think they've got the squads to really attack people, and I think that's what Queen's Park and Dundee do. Attacking wise, you would have to say Queen's Park, yeah, they're up there and that's why they're top. They cause teams loads of problems. They go all out attack, but that can leave them vulnerable in other areas, and that's what we want to try and exploit. That's the way we've tried to play against them all season. I think they've grown as the season's going on. See, when the first game here, the first game of the season, I thought, right, okay, not a bad team. But I think they've taken a couple of beatings, and then they've grown as a team, and they realise they can hurt people. They've got real pace up front, good movement, and they kind of defend from the front. I would put it that way with Queen's Park. So good team, and I think they'll be there at the death. Yeah.
Should people be surprised that they're top of the league? Some people have compared them to Arbroath last season, but is that a different sort of story? You know, Queen's Park are a full-time team, Arbroath were a part-time team. People be surprised?
Yeah, full-time, and you see the type of players that can sign. Ewan Henderson, Connor Shields. I know they lost Simon Murray, but so you shouldn't be surprised, no, because they've got a guy, Willie Hockey, ploughing money in there, and it always helps. And you can see they're a good unit, and they're a team to be reckoned with. And it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying they're going to. Wouldn't surprise me if they go on to win the league. But that's not our focus. I don't run scared of them. We have been competitive against them so many times. We've had great chances against them at vital times in the game. Can we beat Queen's Park? Absolutely. But can they beat us if we're not at it? Yes.
Thanks, Billy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Billy, you've mentioned the runs that you've kind of put together in the past, and just how much can players sort of draw on those experiences? Because as you say, you have finished the last couple of seasons, really struggling with momentum. I
think they can draw on that, Andy, because there's a lot of them, and the bulk of them still here. So they just say that they can get together. I don't hear them, as I say. I'd like them to be self-motivated. I think they are. And I think they'll get together and say, look, we've done it before, we can do it again. Because they can. See, if I didn't think we had a chance, I'd be like that. Listen, we've just got to... The injuries have cost us this season, we've just got to sit and suffer. But I don't feel that. It's not done yet. That's my feeling.
Good, Billy. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Andy.